friends, it's Meg and welcome back to Good Bookery. Today I'm sharing my Cozy Fall TBR picks for this year, and trust me, you won't want to miss these. So grab a blanket, your favorite mug, and get cozy and stick around till the very end for all of the bookish goodness. Let's dive in. First up on our list is The Night Circus, and this is not just any book, no. It's also our Good Bookery Book Club pick. This book is about a magical, whimsical, mysterious circus that only appears at night, and it's the perfect read, in my opinion, to capture the vibes of fall. It's immersive and atmospheric, and this is a book that will truly transport you to another world. So if you're looking for a book that you can read with friends, now is the perfect time to pick up The Night Circus and join the Good Bookery Book Club on Patreon. Moving right along to a book that's on my personal TBR this fall is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. This is a beloved American classic. It's a coming-of-age story that follows young Francie Nolan as she navigates her formative years in the slums of Williamsburg at the turn of the century. It's both a poignant tale filled with heartache and hope, and it also captures the essence of family struggle as well as resilience. I think this book is perfect for fall with its rich, nostalgic feel. If you're in the mood for something that's both uplifting and heartwarming, this is a must-read. Moving along to number 3 on our list is a book that I finished last night at 1 a.m. Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn. If you are looking for that book that's going to give you that schoolgirl romance feeling, this is the book for you. It is a sequel to Better Than the Movies, so if you haven't read that book yet, definitely start with Better Than the Movies because it's a 5-star read. You won't be disappointed, and then you can dive straight into this book. It's actually not out yet. I believe it releases on October 23rd. I've read the arc for it, and like I said, it kept me up until 1 a.m. I was giggling and giddy, and my husband actually rolled over at one point and he said, "Am I gonna be able to sleep?" Because he didn't know if my giggles would ever end. They finally did at 1 a.m. So anyways, if you want something that is light and heartwarming and just full of those butterfly type feelings, this is a book for you. I cannot recommend Lynn Painter's writing enough. Every time I have picked up one of her YA books, specifically her YA books, I am just head over heels with the story that she is able to craft and tell, and it's always a 5-star read for me. You know I'm gonna talk about The Cruel Prince. This book is all about political intrigue, betrayal, and there's a touch of romance set in the dangerous court of High Fairy. Jude is our main character, and she's a mortal who's been trying to earn her place among the Fae, and let me tell you, it does not disappoint. If you've watched any of my other videos, you already know. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and if you're someone who has been thinking about getting into fantasy, I highly recommend you start with a book like The Cruel Prince. This book was not only easy for me as a new fantasy reader to understand, but it has done something permanent to my brain, and now I am constantly chasing the feeling that I had when I read this book and also the other 2 in the trilogy. Please add this to your fall TBR. Moving along to our next recommendation, it is none other than Tress of the Emerald Sea. For my fantasy lovers, this is a must read this season. It is a standalone book set in the Cosmere universe, and it's all about Tress, a simple girl who ends up on an epic adventure across the dangerous seas to save her friend/lover. In this book, you can expect adventure and magic and all of the immaculate world building that Sanderson is known for. We're switching gears now to something that's a little bit more contemporary and heartwarming. This book is honestly such a beautiful story for book lovers. If you're a lover of books, you're going to love this book. Let me get back on track. The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle, Zevin. It's about a grumpy bookstore owner whose life is kind of turned around when a mysterious package arrives at his store. I would say that this book is all about second chances, love, and rediscovering joy through books. It's the perfect read for a cozy afternoon, and I just know that this book is going to give you all of those warm, fuzzy feels. Now, for those who enjoy dark academia with a supernatural twist, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo is a book that you need to read this fall. This one takes us into the secret societies of Yale University, where magic and danger are lurking behind every corner. Galaxy, also known as Alex, is given a second chance at life, but she just finds herself caught up in all of this mysterious and dark, gritty situations. This book is intense and honestly exactly what you need for all of those spooky fall nights. Bringing in some historical fiction, I'm going to recommend to you The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. And I know at one point I owned this book, and I'm pretty sure I let someone borrow it. So if that's you, can you give me my book back? No, seriously. I really would like that back. So this book, like I said, it's historical fiction. It is set in France during World War II, and it follows two sisters as they navigate the horrors of the war and resistance against the Nazis. This book is truly amazing, and every single person that I've recommended read this book has loved it. I've heard nothing but raving reviews. It is deep, it is impactful, it will sit with you for a while to come, and I would venture to say that it is in my top 10 books of all time. It's that good. Another historical fiction book that I think is best read during the fall season is an older one. It is called The Book Thief. It is set in Nazi Germany, and it's a little bit different because it's narrated by death itself and follows a young girl named Liesel who finds solace in stealing books and sharing them with others. This book is beautifully written, it's incredibly moving, and it's one that I think if you haven't read before, you need to read. I think everyone should read this book at least once. Number 10 on my list is a book that I've talked about before on this channel, and that is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. If you're in the mood for a good mystery, The Guest List is the perfect pick. And actually, I recommend listening to this one because it is told from multiple perspectives, and each perspective has their own narrator, and it just is the perfect audiobook to binge. Like, me and my husband, we chose this book for a road trip, and we were hooked the entire time. The road trip flew by. Both of us were very into the story. Lucy Foley has become one of my favorite authors because of this book alone. Another dark academia book that I am really hoping to get to read this fall is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This book is about a group of elite college students who get wrapped up in a dangerous obsession that leads to murder. Donna Tartt, her writing is exquisite, and I know this from personal experience when I read her book, The Goldfinch. The Goldfinch, not the goldfish. Donna Tartt's writing is impeccable. I remember her prose were just absolutely stunning in her previous works, and I think this is going to be the kind of book that stays with you long after you finish it. So I am really excited to hopefully get around to this big old thing this fall. Next on my list is a book called After the Forest by Kel Woods, and I have not heard anyone talk about this book before, but I received it as part of a book box subscription from Illumicrate last fall, and I never was able to get into this book. I didn't have the time, but hopefully this fall I will, because I mean, look how beautiful this edition is. I am just very impressed by the cover and then the artwork throughout the book, as well as the edges. Hopefully the interior is just as good as the exterior. This book is set in the Black Forest in the year 1650, and it follows Greta and Hans after they encounter a witch in the gingerbread house. So I think this one is going to be a retelling of the story Hansel and Gretel. It blends magic and history and folklore in a dark and captivating story that just feels perfect for a cozy night by the fire. Next on our list is a book that, I adored this book. It is Once There Were Wolves. Honestly, It's one that I'm trying to convince my husband to read because I think he'd love it, and I think many of you would love it as well. It's about a woman who moves to Scotland to reintroduce wolves into the Highlands, hoping to heal both the land and her sister. But when a local farmer is found dead, tensions rise and the locals put up a bit of resistance to get rid of the wolves, but the main character is on a mission to protect these creatures that she has chosen to reintroduce to the land. The unexpected thing for me in this book was that it felt like a thriller and it felt like a mystery, and there was also a subplot of romance. So it just checked every box that I could ever hope a book would check. I highly recommend you pick this up in the fall. No fall TBR is complete without a visit to Hogwarts. Harry Potter is the ultimate comfort read during the fall season. It's full of magic, adventure, and of course, nostalgia. I'm definitely planning to cozy up with one of the books from the Harry Potter series this fall. One or more. What am I talking about? One. I might reread the whole thing. Who knows? Honestly, whether it's your first time reading Harry Potter or your 100th, it's always a great choice for the fall season. For readers looking for a classic this fall, I have not forgotten you. I am going to recommend Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This gothic classic explores creation, ambition, and the darker side of human nature. It's a story that's both chilling and thought-provoking, and it's honestly the perfect read for the month of October. I'm excited to dive into this one. I have never read Frankenstein, but my husband raves about it, and he always says that I will love this book. So I'm going to fully embrace that one in the spooky season. I'm so excited to get into these books, and I'd love to hear what you think about this list that I put together for you guys. Let me know which books you're most excited about reading this fall, and if you have any recommendations for me. And don't forget, if you're looking for a group to read with this fall season, you can join the Good Bookery Book Club, linked in the description below, and read the Night Circus with us. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up, of course, if you liked it, and subscribe for more bookish content. I'll see you all in the next one. Happy reading.